going on, everybody? Today it's going to be kind of a simple one. Um, I still have to do the other front hub on the flip CRV, but I'm going to kind of change gears just because the CRV is kind of it's taking a lot out of me. So I'm trying to do something a little easier today. I'm going to focus on the Pilot, actually. We haven't really worked on the Pilot much on the channel. The Pilot was bought originally to be a replacement vehicle for me because I was getting rid of my truck. The Pilot is no longer going to be that. While I do need a bigger vehicle, I have another truck, and I really should just focus on getting that truck on the road. So the Pilot's cool, but it's not really what I need. There's kind of a weird direction I'm thinking about going with the Pilot. The Pilot currently has a J35A4 engine in it with 160,000 original miles on it. The transmission in it is good. It's a two-owner vehicle. I put a lift kit on it. I put some wheels and tires under it. I did a lot of things personally to make it how I wanted it to be. What my plan is going to be is either I'm going to just sell the vehicle running and driving and then use that money to go towards another project, or something I've been kind of considering is getting a car built for the channel. I guess it'd be more than just for the channel. It's something I've wanted to do for a while anyways, was build something for me. So if I were to do that, the vehicles that come to mind is something two-door, something fast, something with like a 6-speed in it. So it kind of eliminates a lot of options. There's like RSX Type S's that kind of fit that description from the factory, but that's really not, one, it's not really within our budget, and two, it's a 4-cylinder. The K-Series are great, don't get me wrong, but the K-Series has never really been something I've been kind of like excited by. So what I'm thinking I might do, another option would be an Accord, specifically like a 2000, 2001, that early gen coupe that has like the weird NSX style taillights. Drop the J30 out of it, drop a J35 in it, pull the transmission out of it, put a TL 6-speed in it. I think that might be a fun thing to do. So there's some decision making to be done. Regardless of whatever decision I do end up making, one thing is for sure, is that I need to get the engine in the Pilot running again. I broke it down a lot to do a lot of stuff on it, mainly when I did the timing. I still have to put the Serpentine belt back on it, and if I'm going to put the Serpentine belt on it, then I need to finish hooking up the power steering line to the rack, so that way when it spins up the power steering pump, it doesn't just shoot fluid all over the place. That line is kind of a pain to get to, which has really been why I've been procrastinating getting it done. It can be gotten to from the top. So I think my goal today is going to be get to the Pilot kind of cleaned up. There's a lot of stuff sitting in front of it and underneath it and on the hood. So get the vehicle cleaned up, get the belt on, run that power steering line from the pump to the rack and pinion, and then try to start it. There was a weird alarm system in the car that I took out, kind of, so hopefully it doesn't give me any issues with that. Another reason why, if I'm going to do anything with it, I might just yank the motor out of it, but I want to make sure that the motor is healthy, especially after I did all the work to it. It's got a new water pump, it's got a new timing belt. It's just had a lot done. So I need to make sure that that motor is healthy and that it's going to be what I need it to be regardless of what I do. So I'm done rambling. I'm going to get you guys turned around. I'm going to show you the mess that I'm talking about, and then I'm going to clean up that mess and we'll get started working on the Pilot. So let's get going. All right, guys, this is what I was talking about. The Pilot has become kind of this weird catch-all area where things have just ended up in front of it or on it. It's something that I need to change. So I'm gonna get started moving some of this stuff. We'll cut back once it's all cleared up and ready to be worked on. All right, so we're all cleaned up. Didn't take nearly as long as I've been procrastinating. It went by pretty quickly. So we got all the big garbage gone. Just my step stool left because even though I'm 6 feet tall, this truck, well, you can call it a truck. This SUV is like forever tall, especially with the lift kit and 30s on it. Especially when you're trying to work on something that's like at the back of the firewall near the ground. So, you know, like the power steering line, regardless. So what I've done is, in the video you might have noticed already that I threw this old power steering line up on the hood. The reason being is there's a sensor, as well as some brackets that the new line did not come with. So I've been holding on to this old line because I need to transfer those components over to the new one. The new one is currently hooked up to the power steering pump. I'm gonna move these two things out of the way off the hood, and we will just set them on the ground. So we can throw this hood open. Okay. There, perfect. So the power steering line is sitting here. It is currently tucked down into the wheel well. Whenever I was feeding it in, I didn't really care where it was going. I was just trying to get it out of my way. So it's not where it needs to be. It's currently caught on something in the braking component, so I need to take the wheel off, which is fine because I need to get this belt put on anyways, and I need to have the wheel off in order to do that. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm actually going to take a second and clean up this engine bay a little bit. I've been looking for my 10 mils for a while. Apparently they were hiding in here. Who'd have thought? Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to get this all cleaned up. Some of these extra bolts put away. I'm going to move the jack over. Try to find a good spot to lift this from so I can take the wheel off. And then we can get this sorted. So give me a second. I'll get you guys set up somewhere once some progress has been made. All right, so some progress has been made. We got the pilot jacked up. We put the stand underneath it, my big 6-ton. The front tire can still spin, so I know it's not going to bind up on the ground. The engine bay isn't like super clean, but it's clean enough. My tools are put away at the very least. There's a spider right there. To get rid of him. The area that we're going to be working in, as far as where this fitting goes, I was mentioning earlier it was kind of a pain to get to. That's because it's down here. Somewhere back there. Yeah, take my word for it. It's somewhere back in here. On this power steering rack and pinion. So it's a ways down there. You're gonna have to fight to get in there. So I'm actually just gonna look up a video and see how they do it. So I know exactly where I'm trying to fight. But that line, maybe we can see it. Yeah, right here. It's just sitting down here in the wheel well. So when I'm trying to yank it up through the top, it's just getting stuck. So I'm going to zap this wheel off. Likely I'm going to put the stock wheels back on it anyways. They're, look at that, not those ones. You're down here. If my goal is not to keep this, then obviously I'm keeping my ESRs, and obviously I'm keeping my Yokohama Geolanders. What I'm going to put them on, I'm not 100% sure yet. It's definitely something I'll have to figure out going forward, because those are expensive tires. I'm definitely not going to let those go to waste. I may put them on my Silverado if I can find rims that fit these tires and our 19s and our 8 lug for a Chevy that won't look like garbage on a lifted 2500 HD. So we'll have some figuring out to do, but I'm definitely keeping these wheels and tires if I'm getting rid of this Pilot. Definitely got some work to do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a quick break because it's getting pretty hot out here. It's pretty toasty out today. I'll come back once I'm a little more hydrated, and we'll get going on getting this wheel taken off. Oh. All right, so here is that brake line I was talking about. I can see now it was actually caught on the axle. So let me go ahead and try to finagle that way. Pull up on the line, pull the slack out of it, reposition that, pull up again, reposition, pull the slack. Okay, try to get that lined up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Perfect. And just like that, we are free. So we have our new line sitting here, and we can kind of check it and compare. This is where that fitting was on the other one, so that'll need to come in. There's some grease on here that needs to get cleaned up. I set the old line down right here. There's a bracket right above where the hard line ends and that fitting is. On mine, that's not here, so I'll need to transfer that over. I'm gonna look up that video again like I was talking about. I'm gonna get this screwed in over there first, routed around the backside of the motor and onto the power steering pump. I don't care about keeping it in its factory location, at least not right now. I'm really leaning towards keeping this engine for an Accord, like I was talking about. Something about a 3.5 VTEC 6-speed Accord. It just makes me excited to think of that as a possibility. I know this isn't the best 3.5. I gotta do some more research and see if we can do like head swaps or anything crazy. So regardless, I at least need to make sure that the motor is good and fixed and healthy. So I'm gonna get everything transferred onto this line that needs to be, and we'll get it put into the car. So I'll be back here in a minute. All right, so it's a little bit later in the day. I took a break, I ate dinner, but we have the sensor off of the old power steering line onto the new power steering line. I'm thinking I'm probably not going to move this bracket, just because I don't really think I'm going to need it. If I need it, I'll put it back on after the fact, but I'm going to get this in position and get it tightened down, and I'll jump back whenever we have it installed on the pump. All right, y'all, we got an update. It is much later now in the afternoon since when I last filmed. The line is finally threaded in. It's not tight just yet. But well, I tell you what, that was probably one of the hardest things I've had to do on this car so far. It took quite the combination to get there. So it was a combo of 1 foot on the bucket, 1 foot on the second step. I would then place my knee on the cross beam. Okay. Sit at this weird turned angle. Set my arm on the motor. Okay. And then reach down, my gut pressing against the core support, and hand thread it. I did that for probably about an hour, and then I finally got a thread to catch, and now I can fight to tighten it down, and I should be done replacing the line. So once the line is completely done and everything's tightened down, I'm gonna turn y'all back on then, but just figured I'd give y'all an update as to just how hard it is to actually get that line installed. So, all right, y'all. I got the bolt. It took me all about, I don't know, probably a couple hours, maybe an hour, just fighting with it. So I already showed you the weird way that I had to stand to get it to actually tighten down. I finally got it completely tightened. I had to take off a second line in order to get the first one put in. So I have to tighten down that line. That was much easier. It's a 19 millimeter and it's already threaded in. I just have to tighten it. The two 10 millimeter bolts on top of the power steering pump themselves are tightened down. So as far as it's concerned, this hose is replaced. Even though I have to finish up that other line I took out, this line is what I set out to do, and it is done. So it's late. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm probably going to tighten down that one line that I had to take off. Look up the belt routing diagram, and if I can quickly put the belt back on, I will. If not, we'll do it tomorrow. Not a big deal. I'm gonna get that tightened down, check that belt diagram. If it's something I can quickly do, then we'll go ahead and get that knocked out. I'll update you guys. We'll put the wheels and tires back on it, get it back on the ground, and we'll close out. So let me see what I can do. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So as you know, it's not a Honda Side Garage video unless we're up way too late working on cars. I'm done. I'm way burnt out. You can tell by how sweaty I am. I've been working. This is one of those reality shows where stuff just gets done. So I'm gonna flip you guys around and I'm gonna go over what we finished. Okay, so our serpentine belt is on. It's tight. It's how it needs to be. The two power steering lines in the back, both are on and tight. The power steering line over here on the pump is on and tight. I went ahead and I just put the stock wheels and tires back on the front. this side as well. Okay. All right, y'all. I got the bolt. It took me all about, I don't know, probably a couple hours, maybe an hour, just fighting with it. So I already showed you the weird way that I had to stand to get it to actually tighten down. I finally got it completely tightened. I had to take off a second line in order to get the first one put in. So I have to tighten down that line. That was much easier. It's a 19 millimeter and it's already threaded in. I just have to tighten it. The two 10 millimeter bolts on top of the power steering pump themselves are tightened down. So as far as it's concerned, this hose is replaced. Even though I have to finish up that other line I took out, this line is what I set out to do and it is done. So it's late. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm probably going to tighten down that one line that I had to take off. Look up the belt routing diagram, and if I can quickly put the belt back on, I will. If not, we'll do it tomorrow, not a big deal. I'm gonna get that tightened down, check that belt diagram. If it's something I can quickly do, then we'll go ahead and get that knocked out. I'll update you guys. We'll put the wheels and tires back on it, get it back on the ground, and we'll close out. So let me see what I can do. I'll be right back.